Do you believe leaders should be aggressive by nature? When to be aggressive, or when do you be aggressive? Does it come off as fake if it's not natural?
So, obviously this is something we talk about all the time, is that being default aggressive is good for leaders. Yes, that is a true statement. There's a dichotomy, obviously, because you can be too aggressive and then things go wrong and things go bad and things don't work. And yes, there are some people that are, let's say, more aggressive by nature. And then let's also remember that being aggressive means a lot more than just being loud, brash, and in your face, right? That is the stereotypical thing that we think of when we think of, oh, that guy's really aggressive. You think this guy's in your face, he's yelling, he's, pushing people over. That is not the type of aggressiveness that you need to be an effective leader. You don't need to be a loudmouth. You don't need to be brash. You don't need to get in people's faces. What being aggressive means is taking action. That's the kind of aggressiveness that I'm talking about. That's the kind of aggressiveness that General Mattis is talking about. One of the definitions of being aggressive is forceful and sometimes overly assertive pursuit of one's aims. So, first of all, forceful we get, right? Sometimes overly assertive means sometimes that you have to go a little bit harder. And here's why that's important, because listen, in combat, almost nothing will happen the way you want it to if you don't force it that way, right? You are coming against a powerful force, the enemy, nature, time. There's all kinds of things that are going against you. It's a losing battle. And if you don't use force of will, then you're not going to get it done. You have to be aggressive and make things happen. Nothing just kind of, oh, that fell into my lap. That just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in combat. It just doesn't happen in combat. And so, yes, this idea that you're going to be aggressive is very important. But if you think to yourself, well, okay, look, I'm not the type of person that likes to be a loudmouth, likes to shout, likes to yell. Cool, good. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be that way. What it means is you need to make things happen. That's what it means. And it can be, this is the good thing about being aggressive. Sure, there's certain parts of your nature that are aggressive, but it can also be trained. You can start to think with an aggressive mindset, which is, I am going to take action. I'm going to overcome obstacles. I'm going to push through roadblocks. I'm not going to take no for an answer. And those are things that you can train. And how do you train them? Look, when you hit an obstacle, you look at it, you shake your head and you go, cool, let's go. Let's figure this out. There's so often times where people, they get told no or they hit an obstacle and it's game over for them. They're just done. They're done training. They're over it. If I do this aggressive thing, it'll be rewarding. If I don't do something aggressive, we're going to get annihilated. So here's the other thing that you got to be ready for. So if you're a person that you lean towards being passive, you've got to start to lean towards being aggressive. And here's the thing that you got to remember. You're going to make mistakes, because when you're aggressive, you're taking more risk, and often you're taking more risk. Now, if you've played out the whole matrix of being passive versus being aggressive, I will tell you that being aggressive is the one that ends up on top. But there are scenarios where your aggressiveness ends up costing you a little bit. That absolutely happens. It happens in business, it happens in life, it happens on the battlefield. But overall, being aggressive is this is where the idea of aggressive has to be your default mode. If your default mode is aggressive and it's not the right answer, you just use the other answer, right? Your default mode is aggressive. That's why I originally said to these young SEAL officers, your default mode has to be aggressive. So if you're not sure if you should stay or you should go to the default, which is going to be aggressive, because 9 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, that's going to be a better move than sitting on your ass and doing nothing. That's what's going to get you killed. So your default mode is to go. Now, do you always go with your default mode? No, you don't always go with it. It's the default mode. But occasionally you go, oh, you know what? I'm not going to go to the default mode. You pull the setting out and you go into the other mode.
Customize it a little bit.
Yeah, you customize a little bit for that particular situation. But your default mode is, I'm going to be aggressive. And that's the odds. You want the odds. You want to stack the odds in your favor. It's a million times easier to have to pull the reins in on someone. On an element, on a team, on a leader, on a person. It's a million times easier to go, all right, hey, come on back. Right. You're going too hard. Then going, hey, you need to get out there. Yeah. Because by the way, I mean, if you think about this from an actual event unfolding, if an event unfolds and you're the person that's on point and you don't react to it properly, that event needs to make it through you to me before I can now assess what I think you should do and then tell you to go do it and then kick you in the ass so you go do it. I don't want that. We already lost.
Yeah.
I want you to go, hey, we just got this event started unfolding. I'm on it. And you look back at me, hey, Jocko, I'm solving this problem right now. Oh, what's the problem? Right? I don't even know what the problem is yet. You're already solving it.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And if I happen to occasionally have to pull the reins on you, I'm more than happy to pull the reins on you.
Yeah.
So yes, that's universal. It's easier to lead someone that you have to pull the reins on than you have to push.
Yeah.
We'd rather pull back than push forward. And that idea of being aggressive is part of that.